The arena lights blaze as the crowd roars, and two warriors stand ready to define their careers. Victor Ortiz, wrapped in red, white, and blue, steps forward with the swagger of a former world champion, a man used to bright lights, pressure, and expectations. Across from him stands Josesito Lopez, the massive underdog in black and gold, underestimated by almost everyone, but carrying a quiet fire in his eyes. The referee reminds them to fight hard and fight clean. And the moment those gloves touch, the tension thickens like a storm ready to break. Ortiz wastes no time asserting his authority, firing stiff jabs and heavy straight lefts. Lopez answers back immediately on the ropes, shouting, "Bring it," as if telling Ortiz he didn't fly here to survive, he came to fight. The first round is a battle of wills. Lopez's sneaky left hook finds a home, Ortiz responds with crisp combinations, and both men taste leather earlier than expected. By the time they sit on their stools, everyone realizes this won't be a routine night. Lopez, cut on the forehead and already tested, refuses to budge. Ortiz wants to establish dominance, but Lopez keeps stepping into the fire, countering every rush with grit and timing. The second round picks up even hotter, Lopez landing a looping hook that jolts Ortiz's head and the crowd's disbelief. Ortiz fires back, digging to the body, pressing forward with controlled aggression. The atmosphere is electric, two fighters with something to prove, refusing to blink, refusing to surrender. It's not just a fight anymore. It's a war built from ambition, pride, and pure heart. As the rounds unfold, the fight begins to reveal its true nature, an all-out collision between Ortiz's power and Lopez's relentless determination. In round 3, Lopez finds more confidence, stepping into the pocket and letting combinations fly, backing Ortiz up with a punishing right hand. Every time Ortiz tries to bully his way forward, Lopez cuts the angle, counters, and stands his ground. The exchanges are unforgiving, both men throwing leather, like they owe each other something personal. Lopez eats shots, but always fires back twice as hard, ripping hooks to the body that start to slow Ortiz's rhythm. The commentary grows frantic as momentum swings wildly from one side to the other. Ortiz lands a monster left hand that snaps Lopez's head back, but the Riverside fighter responds with a clean right hook that forces Ortiz to hold. The blood, the sweat, the heat of battle, it all blends into a chaotic masterpiece. The fans can sense it. This is more than a main event. It's a career-altering test for both fighters. Lopez is supposed to be the stepping stone, the tune-up opponent before Ortiz's massive payday against Canelo Alvarez. But nobody told Lopez that. He marches forward with stubborn bravery, chopping at Ortiz's body, breaking down the former champion's composure with every well-placed shot. Ortiz keeps landing the cleaner, sharper punches, straight lefts, uppercuts, body hooks. But there's something unshakable about Lopez's attitude. He refuses to break, refuses to retreat. The crowd begins to shift. They came cheering for Ortiz, but they're starting to admire Lopez, the underdog with dynamite in his hands and a heart twice the size of his frame. With every passing second, the fight becomes less predictable and far more dangerous. Mid-fight, the story takes a dramatic new turn. The exchanges tighten, the pace quickens, and fatigue begins to creep into both corners. Lopez digs deep, launching a brilliant combination early in round 5. Right hand, left hook, uppercut, that forces Ortiz into a defensive shell on the ropes. It's a moment that shocks everyone. Lopez isn't just surviving anymore, he's thriving. But Ortiz, the seasoned champion, answers with brutal precision. He blasts Lopez with a straight left that nearly lifts him off his feet. The sound echoes through the arena, a reminder of Ortiz's natural power and size advantage. Still, Lopez refuses to go anywhere. A clash of heads adds more drama, and suddenly the crowd senses that the fight is teetering on something unpredictable. The referee, Jack Reese, works overtime separating clinches, warning about dirty shots, and trying to keep control of a fight that's slowly turning into a dogfight. The exchanges grow messy, but thrilling. Uppercuts slip inside, hooks dig deep, and both men absorb punishment that would fold lesser fighters. Lopez starts to find repeated success with the right hand, timing Ortiz's forward bursts and snapping his head back with perfect precision. Ortiz keeps pumping the jab, trying to break Lopez's rhythm, trying to keep the smaller, hungrier fighter from taking control. It's a war of inches, a war of pride. The commentary team begins to highlight Lopez's heart, his body work, his refusal to fade, and Ortiz, though powerful, begins showing subtle signs of trouble, small steps back, moments of hesitation, pauses where there used to be confidence. The momentum is shifting, round by round, and if Ortiz doesn't do something soon, the underdog might just steal everything from him. By round 6 and 7, the fight erupts into pure chaos. Both fighters unleash combinations with reckless abandon, throwing over 500 punches combined by the midpoint of the fight. Ortiz lands a thunderous uppercut that staggers Lopez, but the Riverside Warrior refuses to fall, firing back with a ferocious right hand that snaps Ortiz's jaw sideways. The arena gasps as the momentum flips yet again. Lopez presses forward, digging to the body, forcing Ortiz backward in long stretches of relentless assault. Ortiz tries to regain control with straight lefts down the middle, but Lopez keeps slipping inside, hunting for openings like a man possessed. The referee issues warnings, headshots, clinch tactics, borderline blows, but neither fighter seems to care. They're lost in the war, locked in a battle where instinct overrules everything else. The commentary grows frantic as Lopez starts to outland Ortiz in power shots. It's unexpected, unbelievable, almost surreal. Ortiz entered the ring as the bigger, stronger, more experienced man, but now he's being backed up by a fighter who wasn't supposed to stand a chance. In round 7, Lopez unleashes one of his best moments of the fight, an explosive combination that rocks Ortiz backward into the ropes. Ortiz holds, tries to regroup, but Lopez marches forward, throwing with everything he has. The noise inside the arena becomes deafening. Fans are standing, screaming, sensing something historic unraveling. Ortiz digs deep, firing back with counters, trying to silence the growing storm, but Lopez won't let him breathe. Every round becomes harder. Every exchange becomes more violent. The fight has officially transformed from a competitive matchup into a survival test, and Ortiz is no longer the one in control. Then comes round 9, the round that changes everything. Ortiz begins the round determined to reestablish dominance, firing jabs and straight lefts as he circles around Lopez. For the first 2 minutes, it seems like he's regaining control. But Lopez, fueled by pure grit and a growing belief in destiny, explodes with another perfectly timed right hand that shatters the rhythm of the round. He swarms Ortiz with hooks to the head and body, forcing the former champion into retreat. The exchange becomes brutal. Two men standing inches apart, trading bombs with no regard for safety. Suddenly, Ortiz backs away, touching his jaw. Something's wrong. The commentators sense it. The fans sense it. Lopez senses it. Ortiz tries to fight through the pain, but Lopez presses harder, landing another right hand, then a left hook that sends Ortiz stumbling back with a grimace. The bell rings, and Ortiz walks to his corner with a look that immediately tells the world something is broken, not mentally, but physically. His trainer leans in. "What's wrong?" Ortiz shakes his head. "My jaw, it's broken." The doctor asks him if he can continue. Ortiz whispers no, and in a shocking moment that sends the entire arena into disbelief, the fight is stopped. Josesito Lopez, a man brought in as a stepping stone, has just pulled off one of the most dramatic upsets of the year. The referee raises Lopez's hand as the crowd erupts. Ortiz is defeated, broken in more ways than one. Lopez stands tall, emotional, victorious, not because he was expected to win, but because he refused to accept anything else. Triumph